Okay, let's go. We can do that. All right.
Okay. Hey, what's up, everybody? My small channel only got 420 subscribers, but hey, it's something, right? So yeah, this is, and I'm gonna be leaving my channel here soon anyway because I can't have all this shit and go into my business, right? But anyway, I got Big Boss Calvin. He was helped. He was in the early days of the Manosphere. He knew Bill is a white supremacist piece of shit, and he knows the real deal about this. Sorry, motherfucker.
Hmm.
So yeah, what's up, Big Boss Calvin? We talked off air, but what's up, man?
Hey, it's all good. It's great to see you. Thank you for reaching out to me.
No problem, man. Because I literally, man, the true story. I could show you the message. Like someone, one of my fans, I think his name was Tyga, and he said, "Hey, you should link up with Big Boss Calvin." I'm like, "Okay, I will, bet." Because Bill, I remember I was like, "Yeah, Bill used to hate on Big Boss Calvin back in the day." Cause I'd be like, because I'm the type of person like I'll let a white supremacist rant and shit. I'll just let
Hmm.
them talk and talk. The old saying goes, "Never interrupt your enemy when they make a mistake." I'll let
Yeah.
them talk.
Hmm.
I mean, I think you're a fan of Mr. Fuller. Mr. Fuller says, "Well, let white people lie," and then just expose the lie later. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah.
So I mean, what I mean, so like when you first, when you first met Bill, he never he didn't give you a red flag until what, maybe a year after you met him online.
Yes, that's what I noticed. That I mean, it was like at first it was 2009, but it was like I was kind of on and off. But I noticed in 2010, I started noticing some the red flags.
The red flags, yeah. And I know, and as a black man, I know, as American Negro, as a black man, I know that was in the army, dealt with racist, white supremacy, dealt with a racist. Where you're in the army, you have an NCO above you if you're enlisted, unless you make enlisted rank, a higher NCO rank or go officer, which they won't. It's hard to do as a Negro anyway. That it's hard to do that as a Negro, even if you got education. So unless you just come to the army with the education, but I'll have like a bad NCO, and he'll be like, "Yeah, I got your back, man," against the commanding officer, and I won't let them Arca 15 you. And he'll just give me up to Arca 15. He's the one that initiated, and it was for some petty infraction, like being 5 minutes late to the field formation when there was a traffic jam on base. So it was like, dude, you gave me up to the officer when you're supposed to, your NCO is supposed to have your back, where they're supposed to. I would have like a guy. They were from. He's technically was South American. There's a weird country from South America where it's called Guyana, where they're technically, I don't know the full history, but I think they're East Indian descent or Muslim or something like that. He was one of those dudes. Even though he wasn't pro black, he at least was fair and say like, hey, if you fuck up Carter, I'm going to just smoke you
Yes.
after work, and not Arca 15 you, which is the administrative punishment where you were taking rank, taking money, making you do clean the barracks with a toothbrush for 2 weeks, no pay. That crazy
Yeah.
typically I never had a full on Uncle Tom Black. I only had a few NCOs, but most of one time I had one name. Yeah, I had one that his name's
Hmm.
for a week, but he never rejected me ARC 15 off the jump or some dumb shit. Anyway, he was cool. He was just trying to make me work hard in PT and everything like that. So it all depends on who you have. But in the army, you're gonna run to vice president, just like in the street. You're gonna run into him, and like Bill is one of those guys. Yeah, he's not military, but I'm saying he's one of those type of guys that is one of those white supremacists who he hides it for about, maybe you talk to him about a month, he'll hide it, and then it will come out slowly, and you'll see who he really is. You know what I'm saying? Like you're gonna
Yeah.
see it
Hmm.
because because Bill would talk, we would agree on a lot of shit, but when it come to race, we did never would agree on that because he would
Yeah.
should have saw his rant. Oh, you lost again. But you should have saw his rant on me, man. It was like I don't. I sent it to you, but I don't know if you had time to watch that stupidity. But it was 25 minutes of him ranting on me, and it made no sense because he knows
Hmm.
I'm black. He's just gonna sit there and rant because I talked about Warren, and he said that most of you black guys that say that we're racist, you're actually racist. I'm like, what?
When he said that, said that to me, when I was like, part of the whole clique, and then even his supporters, and then Warren. I'm like, and I even this is the thing I noticed about when his whole movement, he was trying to get it out there, and I remember Warren was just bad enough, and I said, and I just let Warren. I let him talk his shit. I let Warren talk, and I said, Bill, he is a backstabber. I don't think you should. I think he has plans, and I think he's not who he is. Oh, he cool with me. I was like, Bill, you really, I'm trying to like. But if you want to be on white supremacist code and you lose what you're trying to fight for, okay, it's your movement. Okay, do you?
Yeah, and you broke up there for a second because of the connection, but yeah, when Bill, man, if you don't agree, if you're not a complete coon, he's eventually going to follow with you. Because if you sit there and say like, "Hey, that white guy over there, like Warren, he's saying some racist shit. I don't care if he has a mental handicap. He's saying some racist shit. That's not cool because it don't even make any sense."
Yeah.
Oh, you're being a racist against Warren because he did his research, and so what? He said that Asians are the smartest and Negroes are the dumbest. Because he said Asians are the smartest, he's not technically racist. Like, Bill, you made a leap in logic that Albert Einstein couldn't even make about atoms and shit. Like, you just went off into the shark, jumped on the shark, and jumped on the moon. Because it's like, that's the racism is for a white guy. All he has white guys to do to be racist is one thing: mistreat people based or say categorize people based on color and say a person that has more color than not is because really Warren basically was basically raised in the South, and don't get it twisted. Bill's from up north Iowa, but still they can be just racist down south in New York, all that shit. But Warren already had the racist ideology in his mentally handicapped brain. Then he went to verify it with the false research he looked up, and all he did was verify his shit. But then Warren is so mentally handicapped and retarded, he could see a black guy being more successful than him, and then he can even say, well, still racist, the racist shit I made up, white supremacy shit I made up is still true. It's like, no, dude, it's not true. That's why I don't mourn his ass. I'm not happy he did it, but I'm not gonna mourn a guy that took himself out like that. You know?
Oh yeah. And I remember when Warren said to me over the phone when I was speaking to him over the phone, and then all of a sudden he talked about how well, you shouldn't be complaining. Like, why are you going to tell me what I can and cannot do? But you defend the simp that he is. He claims to be against feminism, but you defend white women. I'm like, who's holding white women back? Well, I can't hold white women back for nothing. And I'm like,
I never had Warren defend. Now, me and Warren about to talk before before I just realized Warren is complete hopeless cause, which he was. The year before he took himself out, we would talk on the phone, but his mom would listen to the landline. We couldn't speak. Warren was too mentally handicapped. He's on a cell phone. I'm not dealing with that. But he never just sat there, I love white women, or he'll defend a white woman like Amber Heard on the phone to me. He never did something that blatant to me. Like, Amber Heard's if she is guilty of what the shit they said, that's undefendable, right? But it's like he never did something that blatant. But I can see that he was the racist shit. Rubbed me the wrong way. Is the racial categorizing people by color, like it's like a slave owner in the 1500s. That's crazy shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never even said. I don't even do that. I always say white people, the white supremacists of the world, they're a really great enemy because they are cunning and smart. I can't take nothing away from white people. I don't say about white people they're stupid. Now you just have some white sacrifices characters that are like Warren they're on the slow bus and they're really maybe their mom is their grandma. I mean their daddy and their mama were siblings or something. But it's like, some of them very intelligent. Like Donald Trump ain't one, but there's some white people in the world like the Koch brothers and shit. Like they're very smart, intelligent, cunning, working for white supremacy, and they're a good enemy. But Warren was not. It was definitely like he was out there with the crazy shit he said. But Bill would defend that shit. So when Warren died, Bill is basically like, I'm taking the mask off. I'm gonna get my white hood, put on my white hood, burn a cross in my backyard. I'm gonna come in for Corey like 100 million times of Passion of the Sun because and that's what Mr. Full always said. A white supremacist is like an ultimate gang member or ultimate like police officer's mentality, right? I gotta defend my homie no matter what he did. He could have had a baby in his basement like Black Phone, and I'm gonna defend that dude,
Yeah, and what's so crazy about Warren? He talked about even when he tried to debate me, and I'm like, I'm not. This is not up for debate. And I'm saying he talked about, well, these successful black men always going after white women. I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, what are you talking about? Are you saying that's what I do? Well, I'm just saying. I know you don't know. I said you don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. You just because we just talked about how women are delusional and they stereotype you out for one of us. So what are you talking about? And if you're saying black men have issues and stuff, how can we just be taking white women? Like make it make sense. That's what I told him over the phone, and
Oh,
he just dodged. But let me say this: when I ran this by Bill, and I said, well, actually, because Warren was just talking shit about how he don't know how to run a movement, he don't know how to put things together. He's not into this esoteric knowledge. And I said, Bill, I don't think you should trust him because he's been talking shit about you. And it says I consider we consider each other like we respect each other. Uh, I said, that has he ever run this stuff? Because I told him what he said about him, and then all of a sudden he defends him. Oh, Calvin, he just we're cool, but he said this about you. How can you be cool? How can he be cool with you and respect you? But he's disrespecting you to me. He's talking crazy about you and calling you a dummy, and that he's more smarter than you. You know.
So it was Bill said that about who? About you or about?
No, Warren. I was telling Bill about what Warren said, what Warren told me about Bill, and how he had a lot of dislikes about Bill.
Yeah, I remember that me talking to Warren all a year ago. Like Warren had issues with Bill because Bill's like, yeah, he was like, Bill means well, but Bill is and I have disagreements on a lot of things, and there were valid because like Warren believed in like he was a big fan, like for example, Alan Watt or whatever, and Bill thought Alan Watt was a dummy, so they had disagreements, but yeah, so Bill, Warren had disagreements with Bill, but Warren was Robin and Bill was Batman in the or Buttman and Robin. Warren was the Robin clearly, but and Bill was Buttman clearly. He's the leader. He's like the retarded version of Professor X or some shit. It's like all these crazy characters are swarming to him, and I'm like, I'm not as fucked up as you guys are. I mean, no, I'm not hating on y'all, but I'm not as fucked up as you guys are because y'all severe autism, severe obesity. That's like y'all are fucked up. It's like.
Yeah.
But Warren Warren at the same time, but Bill is going to defend Warren in death because he feels like, oh, that's his civic duty as a white supremacist. I gotta defend this guy even if he said the craziest shit you could ever say as a white person.
Yeah. And I remember one time I was on Blog Talk Radio, and we were talking about corruption, and I did some research about the corruption. He said, "Well," and then I said, "Bill, this is the research. This is documented facts about these direct causes of frauds." And I didn't say it was anti-black, but I said it's fraud. They don't care about the people. They're stealing millions. And he said, "Whoa, the Red Cross wouldn't do that." I said, "Bill, I have the receipts in your face, and the receipts are right here." Oh, so because he feels like because I'm a black man, I shouldn't be calling out the white supremacists in their corruption, even though they're lowballing people like Bill. That's what I don't understand about poor white folks and how they will cape for white folks with money and resources. I said they don't care about you. They'll tolerate you, but they don't care about you. So why are you going to risk your life and for somebody like Trump, as an example? But when you get in a situation, Trump just turns his head.
Yeah, at least Bill didn't seize through Trump, but Bill still supports white supremacy as a whole.
Yeah,
he sees through Trump though, but he supports white supremacy. That's why I don't buy it when Bill talks about. He could be telling the truth, but I don't buy it where Bill told me that the FBI came to him, knocked on his door, and said, "What are you up to on YouTube back in 2010 or 2011?" I don't buy the story because Bill is on the same. Even if he's exposed in the dating scene, he's on board with white supremacy, just like the federal government is. They're not enemies; they're allies. He's just another poor white guy that is on board with white supremacy. He might have his conspiracy theories about some issues, but at the end of the day, he's full on board with white supremacy. He ain't. If a black guy says, or a non-white person of any creed says, "Oh, this white person did something bad," and then Bill's like gonna snap on him like a turtle. He's like, "What?" Immediately. Yeah. I mean, the fact he made a 25-minute video on me when I just spoke out and said Warren was a white supremacist, which he was, shows you Bill's mentality.
Yeah.
Now, Bill was when I was talking to Bill, it was always on the surface, and I knew not to really touch the race issue with Bill because I knew with Bill would just, we had common ground on on other issues, but when it came to race, we were not. He would sometimes admit it because white supremacists, some of them are good at it. Like Bill's refined himself. He'd be like, "Yeah, I've seen black people in my part of the world of Iowa, and black people have a raw deal. You know what I'm saying? Black people
Oh
have a
yeah.
raw deal." So he's really, but he's putting on a mask like a super
Oh
villain.
yeah.
He's like
When I
Dexter
spoke to him,
Morgan or something.
yeah. When I spoke to him, when he had phone conversations back at that time between I was 2010 all the way up to 2016. We had our conversations, and I'm like, and he would just. But when I kept showing him proof of, hey, this is what racism and this is system and all that stuff, and then he got mad at me in one of those. And now he didn't talk about race because I exposed the system, and I'm like, right, and I'm like, it was more like, it's like he didn't call me out, but it was like a sink this. It's like because as a white supremacist you're not supposed to. It's kind of like this. I'm gonna make it in simple terms. I could talk about my mama, but you cannot judge and comment on it. But why are you talking about your mama to me? You know what I'm saying?
And that's a perfect way to put it, man. White supremacists, a Negro can't speak out about it, but a white person, they can voice their complaints about it, but they don't want a Negro to speak their complaints about it. And also, it's like the Legend of the Vampire, like Blade, for example. Like you'll have the vampires, and then you will have the people called familiars, who are vampire fanboys. They're not vampires yet; they're humans that can do their affairs for vampires during the day, but they don't never turn them, and they just eat them at the end of the day because they don't respect them. That's like an Uncle Tom, basically. They're like a familiar. They want. Bill wants basically a black person to be an Uncle Tom for him and never speak out against the racism shit he says or the society does in general. We can't talk about
that's
Warren.
The thing. And that's the thing. There was a black guy that, and to me, and I was trying to educate him, until I realized that you can't really help most Negroes, but his name was Jared. And I made a video just speaking about, it was just about race. It was about race. And it was like I was talking along the lines of, I made one video just addressing race. And then Bill called him, "Oh, you're just race baiting." Basically, before they said the term race baiting, "Oh, you're just causing division." I said, "How can I be fucking causing division when division was already here before you and I were born?"
Right. I mean, no, Bill this is one of the most mind fucking things that Bill's ever said to me. He said this: racism happened. I mean, slavery happened before your granddaddy was born, so it don't matter no more. That's the type of white supremacy that Bill tries to push.
Yeah.
It's like, if I would say, me and my mom were talking about this, and this is not some left wing shit. This is just reality. Okay, if black people were held back in bondage for 200 years during the founding of America, right, where white people are on top completely, then you let us go, and we have to go be Buffalo Soldiers, or we have to go into our own and just try to make it in the world with Jim Crow on us and stuff like that. Then white people, Donald Trump and his family, the Rockefellers, all the people, they can just found the country, build all the banks, and set up all the institutions and just reap all the benefits, right? And after the jump start of slavery. So it still matters, even though it was 200 years ago. It still matters to this day because we're behind 200 years behind white people.
Yeah, exactly. And I did a whole video of black towns being terrorized, and I said racism didn't stop. Just because you don't call somebody the N word doesn't mean. So you say as long as I get called the N word, that because I mean, what does that mean? It's like you say the slur don't mean because just because people don't openly say the N word openly, like they, even though they're trying to say it in so many slick ways. You're saying because they're not outright being blatant with it that we should be concerned. I can say the same, and I'm going to just say this. I'm going to say this. I said, because I like to play. I mean, ain't devil's advocate. Okay, well, when they talk about grape. Okay, well, most of the time, the most common grape is usually somebody they know. It's usually somebody they know. It's not somebody, they always say it's the woman, walking down the aisle and she gets attacked. I said, that's not how it usually happens.
That's rare.
See, yeah.
Random
that's
crime
rare.
in general is rare. Random crime on a random person is general. This is not real life. Is not like GTA. Random crime is rare. Typically, it's the person that hurts you is a person
They
you
know
know.
that knows you. That knows you.
Family or friends is typically who does it.
Yeah.
Does you in all
Yeah.
crime, not just RAP.
Yeah.
All crime.
But I was using that as an as an example. And Bill and I talked to and then Warren said something about hanging was a long time. Then when I showed him a recent case that hanging that happened like it was like happened a couple of days. Oh, and that's just an isolated incident. How's that isolated incident when? And then he tried to say how black people commit more hate crimes. So I said, where's your information? Warren got so pissed off, man. He got so pissed off.
Well, it's like black people. I don't even care. Like I'm sorry, white supremacists. I don't care if a black person, like they claim, if white as horrible as it is, if a black person goes on rampage and massacres several white people, that's not a hate crime because he's a victim of white supremacy, just lashing out in the wrong way, but he's lashing out.
Yeah,
White
exactly.
guy goes and just hangs like they used to do all the time and done recently. Go and hang young black guys whether they be homosexual or not. That is just a blatant crime of I don't like your skin color. I want to lash out like the old days, and I'm gonna lash out, right? I'm a
Yeah,
white person.
exactly. Yo, and I'll say this, and I could talk about Buffalo, what happened out the grocery store that happened out in Buffalo, New York. I could talk about what happened out in Jacksonville, Florida. And see what triggered Bill Warren, but what really triggered Bill is like when I started showing these reports that he couldn't double back. And especially when he said, and then he tried to say, "Oh, you don't know how to use statistics." Bro, I said, "Bro, go to hell." I said, "Go to hell." I mean, you don't know how to, Bill. You don't know how to use statistics most of the times. Even Warren told me about how about basically in so many words that he has a low IQ. Warren told me about when he was talking shit about Bill to me.
Oh, the reason the backstory behind Dwayne and Bill was that Bill can't spell for shit. Bill is like a handyman or some stupid shit like that.
I know that.
So
Oh,
Bill
Dusty.
cannot spell. He would text me on Zoom back when he was, cool with me because I haven't fully exposed his dumbass. And I just know him. I just was keeping him as an associate because he didn't never truly fit. I knew that he was a closet white supremacist, but I just kept him as an associate because we agree. If you have common ground with somebody, you just have common ground, but you know the issues that you're going to disagree on, right? But at the same time, when he would text me on Zoom back in all last year, he would text me on Zoom, right? He couldn't spell for shit. He would misspell the basic of words. Like, he would say spelled through all wrong. Every single word that's bigger than 3 letters, he would misspell it.
Oh yeah,
So,
man. It made
Bill.
my brain. It made my brain rattle.
It hurts my brain. We're not asking him to speak French or Spanish, but just basic English and with no fancy words, he can't spell for shit. Where do you go to school at? I don't know where this man in Iowa. They must have very low test scores because he cannot spell worth shit.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, that's why Dwayne had to write up his helped him build his websites back in the day because Dwayne can actually spell despite all his problems. But but basically, Bill does not want anyone to speak on the socials and the racial injustices going on. Basically, he doesn't want anyone to bring that up. You can't bring that up. White people still have it hard too. It's like, his whole thing on Warren was like, it was so sad when Warren took himself out. And I responded on my video and said, look, it's not that, it's more pathetic. And I was mad at the time. So I was really going in and I really was being mean, but I said, it's really not that sad because Warren chose to take himself out when Warren had a food in his belly, a mama taking care of him, taking his money and taking care of him though, and all this stuff going on. He wasn't homeless. He had a place to lay his head. His mama took care of him for 45 years. I mean, it took his check, but Bill said it was so sad he took himself out and hung himself. I'm like, well, it's not really that sad when you really think about it, because he just took himself out because he had mental illness, man. But his mama he tell his mama was low IQ as well. Never took this guy to go see a therapist or nothing.
Yeah.
I know they're right now. Steve and Bill kind of made up, and they're talking about the Charlie Kirk thing right now, or whether they believe that a lone shooter, he faked it, whatever they believe. They're talking about that right now. But it's like, hey, I don't care what Charlie Kirk, what happened. I don't care if alien secret abducted. I don't care what happened. That's just me. I don't really care. I only heard the guy through I saw the South Park episode. They made fun of Charlie Kirk, but I never really followed Charlie Kirk until he got,
To be honest with you, I never fucked with Charlie Kirk, and I just written Charlie Kirk off as okay, he's one of them right wing Nick Valentez nutcases. Same with Just Pearly things, because I remember going live, and tried to tell these brothers, these dudes, these Negro bedbug. I like white women can't do no wrong. Just Pearly thing is my. I said, bruh. I said, dude. I said, how's Just Pearly things your favorite? Just Pearly things is blatantly racist. I mean, it's not. It had nothing to do with Nick Fuentes, but I just knew her anti-black sentiments, and I'm like, and you got. I mean, not to go off the subject of what we're talking about, because when I saw Obsidian, and I saw it from Red Supreme's live stream, and I think I agree with Obsidian on certain things, but when he was caping for Just Pearly things, I'm like, now I said, I gotta be real. Y'all be calling now. Here's the thing: when it comes to a white hyena, it's like you only want to call. And I call some of these guys in the black manosphere. I do think a lot of them are a bunch of coons, in my personal opinion. And I said, okay, if this was a black woman, because you only time they want to call, 304, the term 304 or hyena. It's like you only just want to call that when it comes to black women's bad behavior. But when it comes to the other races, especially white women, y'all don't. You just like, oh, we're not gonna call no names. We don't want to generalize. I'm like, but I said, you niggas are clowns. That's some Sambos in the manosphere. That's why I don't be fucking with the manosphere like that.
Look at I saw a lot of I don't agree with everything he said, but this brother named, I'm a small channel, so I can say his Machiavelli. He's from Chicago, right? But up north brothers, sometimes they say silly stuff. But I agree with him saying that a lot of these guys are like Stevie Knight, for example.
Uh-huh.
He's married to some Russian chick with a lot of plastic surgery. He watched the movie Sinners, and as a black guy, I had a problem with the movie Sinners for a different reason. I thought that they weren't black and proud enough in that movie. They were all chasing Jewish girls the whole movie, and I was like, that turned me off, man, because they were chasing Jewish chicks the whole movie.
Yeah,
Jewish chicks coming to them saying, "You ate me out last night," and I'm like, "Ooh, y'all some nasty Negroes."
yeah.
I don't eat chicks out. Period. Like a pimp, man. I don't eat no chick out. Get real. Anyway, so then, but then Stevie Knight watched Sinners and said it's some woke shit because they had racism in it, and racism that's in the past. We need to move on from that. I'm like, okay, Stevie Knight, you need to be pimp slapped into the last century and go back to slavery, and then get your ass whipped and RAPE by the slave master, and then you can get some sense in your mind. Then you get some white loving that you don't want, and then you can really understand what we're dealing with here. Because the overt racism of the past was in your ass. Now it's refined, and they can't even. Oh, it's gone because it's refined now. It's when you go apply for any job in the world, they're going to ask you, "What color are you?"
You know what's so crazy? Because even when I get comments, and if I really wanted to go ham like I used to, I said, "We're in the past, and give me a time period where they actually stopped," because you got a lot of these white supremacists that actually want to go back in the past, especially Gen Z and Alpha. They want to go back to the time when they can hang your black ass with a rope and burn you alive.
Do like Rosewood.
And tear down
one of my favorite black movies because it was raw. Other than a few white people doing the right thing, it was just raw. I mean, the white man's portrayed as he is. He only wants black women for sex, and that's it. He don't care about you as a person. He wants sex. That's it. So the black man stood his ground and shot at the white man exactly what he should have done. When they captured the black man in the movie, they strung up and tried to shoot his ass. The black veteran, they ripped up his DD-214 and said, "We don't care, nigga." So that was raw. The movie's raw.
Yeah.
Despite any flaws the movie has, it's 10 times the movie that Sinners is. 10 times the movie. So, but they want to go back to that. The Gen Zers, you're right. The Gen Zers want to go back to that shit.
And Gen Alpha, and because I saw a viral clip, I don't know how, but it looks fresh. How a fourth grader beat up this black second grader and then tie a rope around his neck in the bathroom. They took some type of blanket or something like that and jumped him.
Damn, that is wild.
You know what they said? The kid said, "This is what we want to do to you. We want to do. We want to relive that. We want to go back in that time and have you in chains."
I believe it. See, and that's what happens. Sometimes racism, it comes back out on the on level 10 strength of unrefined in your face bullshit like that because
Yeah.
it's been repressed like anger, like the Incredible Hulk. It's been repressed for so
Oh,
long.
yes, yeah.
It just burst out like the Kool-Aid man.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, even when it came to Elon Musk, and when LeBron James was talking about, I'm afraid, people just shouldn't just say whatever. I said, you know what? Let them be, gonna be out there with it now. And I told all these tap dancers, even in my family. Now, if you say it's in the past, you have nothing to worry about. You said not all white people are bad, which I never said. Well, so you don't have nothing to worry about because those good white people will hold them accountable, right? I'll wait.
No. And they're gonna happen. They're gonna be like, well, I can't do nothing about it, But yeah, that's what they're gonna do, man. That's what they're gonna do.
Oh,
I mean,
I know. I know. But
when
but
I
see,
was a kid,
yeah.
yeah, man. When I was a kid, I went to high school in North Mississippi, south of Memphis, Tennessee, where Elvis Presley's from. So when I was a kid, a white kid called me a nigger to my face and didn't say like, "Yo, you my nigger," like we're cool. I
I
want
know
to be
what
like
you're saying.
Eminem. He said it, and I don't think white guys don't just say it. Period. But it's hypocritical as white people think it is. Don't say it. Period. Because I would go to a gay guy and say, "Hey, what's up, my fag? Can I do that?" No,
Nope.
he's gonna punch you. Even if it's a Mexican gay dude, he's gonna punch you in my face and call the police on me. So then, yeah. So don't say it as a white guy. Period. So anyway, he said, "Call me a nigga to my face." He shoved me. I shoved him back and walked away. The teacher, who was a white supremacist, female, said, "Go to the principal's office." And the principal, a white supremacist, a openly white supremacist guy. He was a member of the Sons of Confederate Army Facebook group back in 2007. Okay, this is back in the old on MySpace at the time. That shows you who he is. He beat me with a paddle because I defended myself, and I even punched the kid. I shoved him. He said because I made the contact on the kid, I deserve to be beaten. But the karma got the dude. He died a year later of steroid overdose. He's a little midget redneck that died. He was an
Oh yeah.
amateur bodybuilder, 5'6", and died of steroid overdose a year later. But it goes to show you. But but I've dealt with overt racism and I dealt with refined racism. I've dealt with them both.
Oh man,
So
me being, I'm from the north. I'm from New York, New Jersey, man. The racism on my face, it's like even go. Oh, I'm sick of you niggas. Like the principal said, and I started like back in the. Sometimes I think I should have punched that motherfucker in the face, and and just been arrested that day. When I was 16, he called me.
well, yeah.
He gets this Asian teacher said something, and I don't know what it was because I had white teachers and students say some because I'm not the stereotype, and they would try to put me. Then you got these coon ass black heifers who got self hate issues, and all of a sudden, oh, he's not this quiet, nice guy. I said, wait, why? Wait, what? like, why you don't know me, bitch? You don't fucking know me. Why are you saying that? You didn't say that to the white kids. And, oh, he acting like he a sellout. You guys, I said, what are you talking about, bitch? That's how I just said, Mitch, please. You don't like me anyway, so
Mr. Furlong was talking about that, man. Like black people, they get mad, and if you try to be intelligent, if you speak with proper English, you're talking white. If you try to go and get your education, you try to sell out. No, that's selling out is not just getting education or just doing the talking correctly. It means like you were literally sucking off white supremacy and white
yeah,
supremacists.
oh yeah, and that's what she was
Like,
doing. Actually, that's what she was doing, and actually,
I
what
believe it.
many of these black heifers were doing. White guys can be lame and corny as hell.
I never saw it hardcore, but I had suspicions. I had a black female NCO that I think was sexually servicing officers in the military, like because she would be in the office alone and with the officer, and you think, okay, something weird is going on because she's not in trouble right now. And what's she talking to him about? Because she's only an E5. Why is she talking to the officer? That should be an E7 talking to the officer. Why is she alone talking to the officer? So it was weird. You know what I'm saying? I saw things that were like weird. I knew some
Yeah. So
bedroom shit goes on.
yeah, and here's the thing, because and she said, well, I remember one time with the Asian teacher, Chinese teacher said something like, and she was ugly as shit, but she was married to a white husband. I'm like, all right, and I'm like, and she was like using it as a flex. I didn't give it. He was died. He died by getting hit by a car, and I said, bitch, I don't give a shit. That's not what I'm saying. And it's like, and she said, you got some, and then she said some, like off the wall sexual comment. Oh, you got a big, you fine, you got this and that. Now, here's the thing. What got me, if it then the black girl said, "Oh, he's not this nice, quiet, well-spoken guy." I'm like, why are you even saying that to her in the first place? But you're saying black men are broken, dusty because she was raised dysfunction. And I'm like, okay. Then she asked me, the Asian teacher, the Chinese teacher, asked, "Do you find me attractive?" And I'm just taking notes, and I just continue to take notes. I'm like, stop playing with me. I'm like, I didn't respond. I'm like, I said, you ain't getting me. Then all of a sudden she got vindictive. Now, mind you, this woman was like almost 40 years old, and I'm 6. Why would you even ask that question? Even when I pointed out, oh, you're the one who started it. You're the one who initiated. So so let me say this. So if it was a black male teacher would have asked any girl, especially a non-black chick, or especially a white chick, am I fine? Am I tall? Am I built right? You mean to tell me he would still have a job? So you wouldn't call her a liar because there was witnesses, right? So and then all of a sudden she's antagonized me, just being disrespectful because she didn't know how smart I was and intelligent. And then she says something about black men are deadbeat dads. And then she says, well, it's not a racist statement because my black girlfriends talk about how niggas are broke. Now, she didn't say the N word, but she says black men don't take care of their kids. I said, hey, why are you even saying this during a history lesson, American history? Why are you even saying this out in the open?
And there's white guys, so many white guys are straight out on drugs, don't take care of the kids and shit like that. But she ain't talking about them. You know what I'm saying?
She ain't talking about, and the thing is, you know what's so crazy? A lot of her black female friends had her white baby daddy didn't do shit. Why don't you call him out? Oh, I forgot. You ain't gonna do that. You ain't gonna do that. Beat on women, the biggest sexual assaulters, rapists. You ain't gonna call them out. But you have all this energy towards black men who ain't doing nothing to you but ignoring you.
Yeah, that's a straight up trap. That's a straight up honeypot trap. It's hard to try to get you on. This was the 90s, right? So she's still trying to get you on some weird shit.
This is like 2000, 99. It was 2000. 2000.
Okay, 2000. Yeah, okay, but still, yeah, they still trying to get you. It wasn't as bad as now but it still was almost as bad as now back then.
Yeah.
You know, if a female accuses you of something, you going down. And
then try to get in your face and get aggressive towards you. If you swing back, sometimes I think I should have swing back. I said, you know what, I have no problem just bothering now. I mean, I know guys that said, fuck it, I'll just hit you, and they just they did the time, or they just had to they had a really good lawyer, and where they had to just go for anger management and be on probation for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, and I ain't trying to do all that. I ain't trying to deal with the police at all. So,
yeah, I feel you on that. I just feel, but sometimes when you're back in the corner,
yeah,
I'm got no choice.
I'm from the South, man. If I, it's a conflict with me, ex-military, and being from the South is ended in death. There's no fighting in Florida. There's no fist fighting. Yeah. Guys lose a fist fight in Florida and pull a weapon out.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
I'm in North
there's
Carolina.
no fist fighting in Florida. I already know. No, there's no fist fight. So you want to avoid conflict at all costs in Florida.
So
in New York, y'all get away with that maybe because guys don't. Only the gangbangers got illegal weapons and shit. Where
I was at in New Jersey, even though you can't really carry guns openly, they still had them. And I remember one time a kid was teasing a black kid and trying to try him again, and then I'll take you out. They saw it. They didn't do nothing. The black kid was you were bothering him. I've seen racism up top, up north. And me being from north, I've seen racism, and being down here, it's just more refined with liberal bullshit, dealt with racist cops trying to put me on some, say I had a stepfather was abusive and mom, and she was complicit. So I dealt with, the justices, and even when the assistant principal called, and then I had a female try to accuse me of something. Then a black female said, well, you should get him for harassment. What is with y'all? Why y'all keep picking on me? But white guys can hit women open And then, he was the fear. Like, you don't know what he was going through. He must have gone through depression. Have compassion. I said, y'all can go fuck yourselves. That's what I said.
I
That's
saw
what
the
I
same thing
said.
in the military. I was stationed in Texas, right? I just got out 2 years ago. I was stationed in Texas. I would see the white boys who was one white boy. He didn't even have a vehicle and would be sleep in for military. Supposed to be you have to be a PT formation by 05:20 in the morning every morning without fail, unless there's something special going on. Pretty much, unless it's a weekend or something, or y'all having or something else is going on, y'all having a field op, you gotta be there that early every morning. So white boy show up late and have an excuse for the NCO and shit like that. I show up late few seconds. Oh, it's my ass, right? I'm doing either ARC 15 or smoke session in the back after work, right? So I saw the whole blatant racism in your face. So I would say when black guys serve, we serve double as hard because white guys just show up. Hey, after 1 year, you want to be an officer? Hey, after 1 year, you want to be an NCO? It's just
Yeah.
immediate. What black guys, we're in there and we're just shit on. Unless we sell out and become coons and Uncle Toms, we just have to
And
shit on.
that's the thing. That's I said. I've seen a lot of coons, even black people who are in positions, obviously cops, and they're just just tap dances. And I mean, I dealt with a Karen profiling me, and I didn't speak. This was this heavy set white female. I just was like, and all of a sudden she got an attitude because I didn't speak to her. The entitlement, the entitlement is just is unreal. And then try to set me up like, oh, I'm doing something like some rudeness. And I'm just chilling at the mall. This was at the mall, and then he threatened me. Threatened you, and I'm recording. And he recorded me without my permission, and I feel threatened by him. He said he gonna put me on social media. I said, huh? My lawyer was like, what? And then he said, I hope you die from cancer. All right, and then then in the county that I was staying at the time, it's outside of Greensboro, North Carolina. It's Burlington. Right. But I live in Durham, near Raleigh, near the state of Raleigh.
I used to live. Like I told you, I used to live near there.
Oh, okay. So the person who took out the warrant for my arrest to get me from where I was staying at, and I think it was a black judge, and I was really so pissed off because they saw the viral video. I'm pretty sure he saw the viral video, but because they always use black people in those positions in government jobs, and even where you're at, like especially with law enforcement, as it's not racist because the black judge took out a warrant. That's because you told him to. You didn't want no white judge to do it because it would be too obvious. You know what I mean?
Clarence Thomas is going to side with white supremacy.
Yeah.
99% of the time. Okay, he's going to do that. That's what he's there to do.
Yeah.
He's going to do that. Like black judges don't mean shit and black cops don't mean shit. They're going to throw us down the river.
Black teachers, even if he's the principal. Oh, you're going to side with the white student who's picking on me. It's like they're always going to side with the system, and then the excuse is, well, young man, to be successful, you got to play the game. What do you mean by play the game? And I'm like, and to me, I'd be like, they're so pissed. People be so pissed off. I'm not selling out. Well, you got to sell out to make it. That's the only way you can be like, what? Who told y'all this? Who told y'all this? Because to me, I know there's some people I know who are very militant, do well for themselves, and they didn't go that route. And even when I worked at some job, I kept it real. I didn't. As long as I was doing what I was supposed to do, it's like people didn't like bother me because they know I kind of carry myself in a militant way.
Man, I had a job. I'm in Florida, right? I had a job recently up here in North Florida, right? And I was working. I'm ex-military. I went to work security, not police officer, security officer. Where we're not a cop out just write tickets on bullshit. We're just actually just to keep the either the courthouse or the school safe. Either the school or courthouse. Yeah, hey man, he's the one that recommended you to me, man. Melancholic Tiger, man. He's the one that recommended you. I get you on the show.
Hey, what up? What up?
So yeah, man. So anyway, I was working as a security officer. I had to get in Florida. It's super easy to get your security license in Florida. I had to get it. It took me only a month to get it. So I got my security license. Go to work at either doing security at the courthouse or doing security at the a college campus at like a fire academy. I'm the and it's armed. Like the courthouse is armed. I'm an armed security guy, so I'm there working there. I've been working there a month, right? Worked there with a stupid Puerto Rican guy who's total sellout because Puerto Ricans they sell it to me. Especially the ones that look like
Oh
Hispanic.
yeah.
The ones that don't look black, they sell out too. But the ones that look Hispanic, look like Mexicans and guys and shit, oh, they sell it immediately. So he saw a complete sellout. Kid, he's a wannabe cop. I can't stand security guys like that. He's a wannabe cop. He's not good enough to be a cop, so he goes to be security. I want to be security because I don't support the police, right? I don't support writing tickets and throwing people in jail over bullshit, right? So then
Yeah.
I'm doing working there, security officer, right? So it goes on. Work there a month. I'm only working part time. Working there a month, and it's paying jack shit. It's just hey, on top of my government, my army disability, it just helped me out pay some bills, right? That's all it was. Some chump change, play money, buy more guns, right? In Florida, we buy a gun once a month. That's how we do. So anyway, man, I doing that. This my security leader, who was a captain. They call it a captain. He's a former police officer, white redneck from Florida, right? He makes up this lie that a crackhead looked at my gun and was fiending over it and wanted to steal my weapon. Now my weapon's in a level 3 police holster. It can't be easily stolen anyway. And he made up this lie that when I was eating my lunch break the day before, some crackhead was looking at my gun close proximity to me and was looking at it. Did not happen, right? So I said I quit the next day immediately. I just said I'm not taking this racist shit no more. I texted him, I'm not taking your racist shit no more. Your job ain't paying worth a shit. Bye. He's like, can you give me one more day of work? I said, no, I can't give you one day of work. Can you not be racist for a day? That's what I text him. Can you not be racist for a day? You made up a lie. I'm an ex-military veteran, served my country honorably, and dealt with bullshit racism in there where I can't quit. Then I get out here, I'm doing a voluntary job, and then you give me racism. I'm going to quit because you made up a lie and said, if you don't have my back on a small issue, if I have to pull my weapon on someone, you're not going to have my back. You're going to throw me under the bus and get me in prison, right? So you can't work with security. Life it's an easy job 9% of the time, but if you have to pull a weapon on I was working at the courthouse. You have crackheads come in there, meth heads, white meth heads that have nothing to lose. They're the main culprits of random murder that when they do happen. They could want to come in that place with a rifle and just the sheriff deputies had a rifle in their sheriff desk. But we all knew that if they pull that rifle out, an AR-15 with a 30-round magazine, they're shooting all of us just to get the one method that walked in here mad about his court case, right? So we knew that. Those rednecks are not going to, and a few Puerto Ricans and Cubans, they're not going to care about a Negro getting shot, okay? So they're going to shoot through us and just say, oh, it's justified because we're a cop, right? We can just do what we want. So we knew that. And we're armed security. We're supposed to have the front line. But the cops are in us because we're not full-on cops. Then we have security guys asking us, why don't you be a cop, man? I said, no, I don't want to be a cop. I don't write tickets, dude. I don't want to write a ticket to make a quota to serve what? You know what I'm saying? Like, cops do nothing. And up north, it's just worse. If you get caught with a gun up north, you're doing 5 years. In Florida, they don't even ask you about weapons. They just don't. In Florida, they love speed trapping. That's what they love to do. I got a ticket in Florida here. I was looking for my house last summer, and a racist sheriff's deputy caught me in a speed trap, a notorious speed trap called Waldo, Florida. And he caught me and lied and said I went 30 over the limit. I was only going 10 over. So he just completely lied and said I was going 30 over. That's in Florida. They can't get you on weapons or drugs. They don't care about weapons or drugs. They only get you on. But I'm just glad it's that petty because in Florida, they just want to make revenue for the state. That's all they want to do. They don't want up north. They're going to get you 5 years and they're going to beat the shit out of you for a gun. I'm going to have a gun. I love guns. I'm ex-military, right? I'm going to have a gun everywhere I'm at. But up north, if I have a gun, they're going to just beat me for an hour and then take my gun and then put me in prison and then I'm in there 5 years. I can't deal with that. So, yeah, I mean, Loki T tells me about New Jersey all the time. He tells me how crazy it is and shit like that. I'm like,
oh man, please. And I would say this: I'm actually glad that I'm going. I actually like it. I like NC. If I had to choose, I'd choose NC, or I'll choose anywhere else outside of New Jersey.
NC is not the best because I lived in NC for a year and a half. I had a cop tried to a legal gun, tried to pretend act like he was going to arrest me for a legal gun. And in NC, NC is not hardcore like that, but And see, they still want to have this whole gun licensing shit.
Oh, I know. I'm with you. I'm with you 100. I'm with you 1,000. I
In
know
Florida,
all
we
about
went to
that.
open carry and we went to concealed carry, no license, no nothing.
Yeah.
Now you can go get one. The only reason I got my concealed carry in Florida is because it makes it where you don't have to wait the 3 days to buy a weapon when you buy a new gun. That's the only thing it does. So and also a transfer. Say I go to Georgia or go to NC, my concealed carry transfers over to other southern states. So I can just concealed carry, and we know now a cop doesn't have a right to search you. And even NC is to declare you must declare your firearm to officers, but I think it's insane. It makes no sense. So I hate that about NC. So I just plead the Fifth Amendment because I'm like, well, I'm going to tell a guy who's a paid criminal to try to get me in trouble about a weapon or anything. It's like saying, "Hey, officer, I smoked a joint last night, but it's like no, don't tell him anything. Just please. I have these Fifth Amendment cards I carry around, right? And they're made by this Mexican guy. I don't know if you watched Elite Laws. He's this Mexican guy that's anti-police. He made up these Fifth Amendment police cards where you give it to a cop, so you don't get flustered. You hand it to a cop and says, "I plead the Fifth Amendment, officer. Do not ask me any questions about drugs, guns, or any of the typical shit y'all ask," and it stops them in their tracks because it makes it where, because people get nervous and shit. You're dealing with a guy with a gun, he's crazy. You know what I'm saying? You give him the Fifth Amendment. I got pulled over I was coming home from a security job. Cop pulls me over in my neighborhood, and I was going, technically, it's supposed to be a 30, but the 45 speed limit sign was right 10 feet in front of me when he pulled me over. He says, "You're doing 40 on a 30. I said, "Well, the 45 per hour sign's right there." He's like, "Technically, this is still 30, though." I said, "Okay, dude. I want to see that hold up in court." And he's like, "Okay, it's going to be a warning." I said, "Okay, bye." He ran my plates and then he left me alone because he's a deputy. In Florida, we have a lot, unless you're in the big cities, is a deputy typically. So they don't have the quotas of police officers. Okay, but I did get a ticket from a deputy in Waldo because they have that specific town has a quota. But other than that, they don't have the quotas of police officers and shit. So you're in, a deputy typically ain't gonna. He only has a quota. Maybe it might be 30 a month, versus a cop has 150 a month. I'm ballparking it. We all know they have quotas. It's just they don't. It's unofficial. It's unofficial. When they do their AARs and shit, they have to meet a certain amount of tickets, or they're gonna get fired. That's So that's all that thing was. But I can't. In Florida, cop is not supposed to even fucking ask you anything. But they want to. It kills cops in Florida because they want to be more. They want to act like North Carolina is getting this purple state. Then you go up the way up where you're at. It's some tyrannical shit. You know what I'm saying? The cops. I don't see why cops don't just leave Florida and go up to some crazy state. They want to go that's what they want to do. In Florida, they can't do that. As always, the North people don't understand. They can't. They can't in Florida. They can't ask you nothing. Like I had a car wreck 3 months ago, and it was my fault because I think I was changing my radio station and I hit a rock in the road and I hit and I had a one car accident, right? Because shit, and my differential was going bad anyway. My steering, even though it was only a 8-year-old car at the time, right? But then I hit a tree and it wrecked the vehicle. But then the cops wanted to get me on something, but they knew they couldn't really. I was clearly sober when the accident happened, and I wasn't on drugs or anything. They couldn't, and they had no right to search the vehicle, so therefore they couldn't. If I was in New York City, they would have searched the vehicle. They would have handcuffed me, searched the vehicle. I was going to the gun range, so I had a sniper rifle in the trunk. So they would have got me on that. So it was like they would have. I would have been locked the hell up.
Yeah,
exactly. He's going to work. Melancholy Tiger is going to work.
Well, man, that plantation, man. So no.
I'm glad I get a pension now.
I definitely gotta. I got. I'm on TikTok more frequently, but I'm definitely gonna speak more. I mean, because it's so crazy about the whole thing. Where I made 2 videos on TikTok that got deleted, and I spoke about Charlie Kirk, and I had a bunch of white supremacists try to shame me, and I'm like, you're not shaming me because when it comes to Trayvon, and I could just list Tamir Rice, y'all are cracking jokes. Y'all were you were celebrating when they got unfortunately wrongfully unalived. So, and I just said this. I just said something about, and then some knucklehead, try to use the same point. And I think I can just recognize that talking point that sounded like Bill and Warren. It was like that's what I feel so interesting. Sounded like Bill and Warren. And I said this. How about you worry about the white and white crime in the community? I would never forget when I made a video response to Bill. When I said black people couldn't be racist, and Bill just got in his feelings. And I said, how about the white on white crime? And I started listing all the white on white crime. Bill had a heart attack. He just got so emotional and started just yelling and screaming and cursing and talk about, we're gonna speak. Well, guess what? We need to talk about black. How about you worry about the crime in your community? And then he said something about when I talked about
white person are not allowed.
Then when I started,
to speak on it.
but even when it came to the whole DV, and I would just read, well, you know how women provoke men. I said, bro, how many times have we had those conversations? But I'm speaking about white. Since you want to talk about black men criminality, let's talk about white male criminality. No, that's not fair. I said, dude, if you don't shut your redneck ass up, if you don't shut your redneck bitch ass up.
I don't even, he don't even have a logical argument. Remember, Warren, I think Warren is right about Bill, man, even though he's gone now. Warren's gone now, but he was right. Bill is actually low IQ. He is right on some issues. When he's right about the few issues he's right about this, when it comes to the category of life called sex, he's right about, women are crazy and not worth dating no more. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, he's right about that. Okay, cool. But then when he talks about race, he is off. He's completely off the mark. He is off the mark like a blind man shooting a 22 rifle and trying to hit a barn. He is off the mark, also shooting off. He's like the movie Unforgiven, the blind guy and the blind white guy in Unforgiven. He's shooting all across creation, like Morgan Freeman said. Yeah, he's like that. He's shooting all across like a blind man. But yeah, man, Bill, he's going to. But back then, I think he was less refined. Back then, he's learned when he was talking to me, he learned to refine it a little better, and will only let it slip out. But Bill is a redneck. Don't get just because he's from up north and they have less red skin.
Oh yeah, I know that.
North. He's still a redneck. He's a hick all the way, man. We call him really hicks. You're up north, dumb bumpkin. You're really a hick.
Oh yeah, I know that, man. Even when he crashed out when I spoke about the sundown towns, he started. It's like crashing out. I never saw that side of him out in the open in the video. How he was just spazzing out. Like I think when one of his videos with that old webcam, he slammed his desk. That's how I knew I got him. That's how I knew I got him, because he thought he can intimidate me or intellectually beat me at this. I said, bro, I just took he said, you can't always go by statistics. I said, it's funny how you white folks say this, but you try to use the statistics like Charlie Kirk and to manipulate it. Oh, but it ain't fun when the rabbit got a gun. And now we don't want to say now statistics are not valid because it's speaking about white males and white, especially when I start talking about white women. Oh, you need to hold black women accountable. It said it'd be nicer if I could hold black women accountable, but y'all told the black women that black men ain't sugar honey iced tea. Yes, they are wrong for falling for the BS, but
Who's
but
the one who created the black single mother by making abortions cheap and legal, and also
exactly.
And also you kick the black man out of the house by giving them welfare if they have no man, right? Who did that? Oh, it wasn't black men that did that. It was white men.
And you gave them opportunities, housing, even made it easier for them to have access to vehicles. It's like y'all did this. And then when we pulled ourselves by our bootstraps, you burnt down our towns. And then I said, when I spoke about the whole thing about Emmett Till, oh, that's what really made him mad. Emmett Till, when is this bitch gonna be accountable? He's like, you shouldn't, he got so pissed off, man. It's like that's when it was a complete fallout. And then when I left, because he says, well, this is my movement, bro. I said I'm not part of no movement. And I said, I don't, and since when you sat out, and I said, okay, I don't need you. I don't really need your since I'm more influential because last time, like I said, like I told you earlier, I had people, even news stations, offer me opportunities to speak on this, on your issue, on the whole thing about TFL and stuff. When was the last time you got a phone call? That's what made him jealous in the first place.
Yeah, that I believe that he probably never did, and he's a type of egomaniac where he has a megalomaniac, whatever we call it, where he wants to. Oh, this is my movement. I'm like, well, dude, we don't need your tied tongue, no spilling butt to do anything.
We
Dude,
know,
he
and we know.
check it out, man. Like he went on the rant against me after I spoke on Warren to Steve, right? He was so mad, right? He went and said, Corey said I ghosted him. Well, he said in the video, like, well, this is why I ghosted him. He tried to sit there and expose a phone call of no, I never exposed. I just said he talked about how Warren was a racist when Warren wasn't a racist. I'm like, yeah, dude, you are sick in the brain. Even when white people defend racists, man, you know that they are basically a KKK member. They basically are in agreement
Yeah,
with that mentality.
yeah,
Nothing else you can say about it.
exactly, exactly. There's nothing you can say about it.
Bill's the type, man. He is the type to sit there and be like, well, black people, they're, you can still be. There's when a black guy on occasion beats up a white guy or shoots a white guy unprovoked. That means that there's still racist black guys in the world too. And it's like, dude, that doesn't even have nothing to do with the racism overarching in the world. Okay,
Yeah,
that's one isolated case of a black person just lashing out against his oppressor on occasion. It's
yeah,
actually
exactly.
statistically rare.
Oh yeah. Even when I had the white supremacists, when I was on the Blog Talk show, like come for me, and then when I started then when I put out the stats about white males, especially white, and then white females, but when I started speaking about white males, well, you can't go by that. There's a bias. What? Y'all the ones who created the bias. But you defend the people, your people who look like you created the bias. You need I struggle. I live paycheck to paycheck, and I'm struggling. I'm a white man. I'm struggling. Well, you need to take that up with them people. Don't talk to me. Don't argue with me.
When white
And
people are
then,
unsuccessful, I call it Mr. Fuller and I call it white sacrifice. There's going to be unsuccessful white people in the world, but by and large, white people are winning by and large. There's going to be
yeah,
losers, white people, just because they didn't go to college. If you're a white guy, you're flipping burgers at McDonald's. Whose fault is that? You should get educated, get a trade, do something with skill-based
mhm,
labor instead of doing something that takes no skill. You can join the military and get ranked up faster than a video game if you join the military. They rank them up so quick, it's pathetic. It's like I
mhm.
know white guys, they got ranked up. They've only been in for like 4 years and they're already like an E7 and shit. It's like, what the hell, man? It's like they rank them up
Yeah.
so quick, your head was. And then of course, bed wenches are willing to do favors. I won't
Oh
just say
yeah.
that they'll rank them up quick too. But if you're a black guy, you're like, I don't get down like that. I don't even like homosexuals. And they're like, oh, we gotta watch you. If you do one thing wrong, we're out to get you. But because you don't support homosexuals and you don't support white supremacy, we're out to get you because white people love homosexuality. That's what we love to do. So yeah.
Mhm.
So
Oh
yeah.
yeah. I mean,
But
especially,
Bills is also
and
too.
I was
Bills.
yeah,
Okay, go ahead.
yeah. Even when I spoke about the whole thing of feminism, and the part of the response was this when he said something about BLM. Now I know about the truth about BLM and all that stuff. And it was a hashtag, but he's mad because when he started just going on a random black woman BLM, I said, no, he ain't doing no. That's why I draw the line. I'm like, you started making, and he just spewed out just stats, and I think the way he tries to use stats, the way they normally like Charlie Kirk try to use stats, it's like it's laughable. And it's like no, it's like no. And my thing is, and you talk about crime, but you said poverty creates crime. But here's the thing: when it comes to what wealthy white people, why are they committing crimes? Oh, crime out of greed. When are we going to start talking about that? Crime out of greed.
Yeah, that is a lot true. And you know what really rubbed me wrong about Bill also, not only just the racism stuff. What rubbed me wrong is about him, and I swear to God, he said this to me. I don't really believe in God literally, but I'm just making the expression. He said that that he feels sorry for guys that are attracted to children. He said that one time to me. Then he also said that, oh, homosexuals, you're just basically born a homosexual. I'm like, dude, where are you getting this from? So culture
Yeah,
has
where's
no
he getting
point. Where culture has no basis, right? So they didn't have the. Well, let's say that we all know that history can be lies, but so you're saying the whole thing about the Greek city states and Roman Empire, they're culturally homosexuality was part of their culture, where they did it culturally. That's just a complete, that's just complete made up lunatics, right? You're just born a homosexual and you just start, babies, as newborn babies, just come out and start sucking people off, right? I've never seen her or heard of that. And
I
then
never
people
heard
that are
that.
attracted to children, I mean, they need help. They don't need sympathy. But Bill is they deserve sympathy.
Wow.
So we all know why Bill went to the Philippines. I always say, like, I don't have proof, but when Bill went to the Philippines 20 years ago, we all know what he was doing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
The lady,
When he
boys,
went
and probably prepubescent. So
yeah, lady, boys. Yeah, boys dress up as
I'm
women.
talking boys. I'm talking about prepubescent children.
Oh,
They look
I
even
know.
more like girls.
Yeah, I know. But I know what you're saying. I know what I'm saying.
And
But the
Asians,
mass.
this is not racism. When Bill sees this is not racism. That's not how racism works. When I say that genetically Asians are less sexually dimorphic than essentially black men, when you see a black man, even if you see a gay black man who tries to put on drag, you most of the time tell that's a Negro. That's a Negro male. But with Asians, when they put on their drag stuff, you can't even. They really can fool you. If you're into,
Yeah.
I'm not into Asians, but if you're into Asians, you're like, wow, that feel. I knew this little Asian guy used to know him before he lost his mind, and he clowned on me on the phone. I hung up and never talked to him again. Named Crying Blast, right? Mentally, we're slow Asian guy, right? He's a little skinny, feminine. He's only half Filipino and half white. Met him in person and gave him a gun for free, right? Because I got a friend of mine. It was a cheap gun gifted to me by another friend that wasn't registered to me. So I said, here's a gun, dude. This is the South. Here's a gun. Didn't pay me back. Didn't do anything good for me ever because he's a cheapskate loser. So he cussed me out on the phone because he believes in Bitcoin or some bullshit he believed in. So I said, dude, you ain't talking to me like that. Click. So never talk to him again, right? Because he's a loser. But Asian guys, he's a real skinny dude. He would go to the gym with me one time. He couldn't lift 20 pounds each arm. I'm like, dude, what the hell? You need to eat some steak, dude. I said, I know black guys, we have really good genetics for building muscle, but like I can lift 45 pounds each arm for reps and do it all day. That's how I'm built to do that, Asian guys, they try to lift 20 pounds in the gym. They're like, oh, no wonder they have to make a martial artist because they can't fight. They're so weak, they have to know how to hit a person perfectly. A black guy, we just hit you one time, boom, you're knocked the fuck out. I'm morally obese like Dwayne. Just hit you one time, bam. You knock the fella hell out, man. So it's like black men are, they're so scary. It's like, nah, we're not just scary. It's just y'all are just stupid. Y'all make it you impoverish black men for so long. You make us like you make us where we're on the dregs of society where we're. But I see mostly, man. I went to Jacksonville one time with this loser, and black guy saw me. He's like, "What you looking at?" I was at the beach. He's like, "What you looking at, man?" I'm like, "Negroes in Jacksonville need help." I was up to. I have to shoot this guy. That's all Negroes are, man. They want to fight.
Jacksonville, Florida is an interesting place. I mean, I've been.
I don't like
there
many times. I don't like it. I like Gainesville. I don't like Jacksonville. I don't want that. I live way closer to Gainesville, and I don't like Jacksonville at all. My younger brother lives in Jacksonville. I can't stand Jacksonville. He's a Uncle Tom married to a white girl, and he's an ex. I think he quit being a cop, but he used to be a cop, so I don't need to say more about him. He's a complete loser and tool bag.
Yeah.
So he's married to a white girl. So big old ugly fat white girl. So don't need to say more about that. He's a loser. At least Stevie Knight's married to one with plastic surgery. Oh man, I was like, you're gonna be married to a white girl. At least get most Negroes they marry ones that are ugly. They don't never get in the Margot Robbies or the damn Scarlett Johanssons. They get like the ugly chicks no one wants.
Oh yeah, I noticed that too.
They never get the like Johnny Depp. He's gonna get. Amber Heard was hot before she lost her mind, but she lost her mind. Then she got ugly, right? She got putting on her makeup and stopped eating, right? But they get the white guys get the hot ones, right? They don't get the hot ones. We get the left. Black dudes get the leftovers. I don't believe in marriage anyway, but the guys that believe in marriage is like they get the simps. They get the simp leftovers.
Oh, I agree with exactly what you are saying.
Yeah, and then yeah, man, and then we were. I mean, I was what really when I looked at your channel, man. When I saw you just talking about how the movie This Christmas was came out almost 20 years ago, you were talking about how the proud black woman, she beats the black boyfriend with a belt because he was cheating. I'm like, yeah, if that was the other way around. If he was on some pimp shit and was beating her with the belt like Pimp Snooki did in real life, then
Yeah.
people were like, oh, it's terrible, it's woman abuse.
And you know what's so crazy? You know what's so crazy? I had a female obviously report of that video on when I posted it on my old TikTok. Boy, them heavens are something else. Like I just posted the video, did my play-by-play reaction, and then these broads had a crash out.
Damn, that
Yeah,
is crazy.
it's crazy. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I just showing you something that obvious is like because I remember because when I remember watching that movie with my family, especially with my mom and aunties and my female cousin, they're like, yeah, yeah. And I was thinking to myself, imagine if the man would put baby oil on the floor, she was slipping, and he found out what she was doing, and he did the exact same thing. All of a sudden, crickets.
Oh, Tyler Perry movies are. I think Judge Joe Brown recently said this. Tyler Perry movies are anti-masculinity completely. I mean, I think that movie wasn't actually made by Tyler Perry, but had a lot of his actors he uses are in that film. But yeah, it's like those black exploitation female movies they've made recently. Main culprit being
Yeah.
Tyler Perry. They're all about, oh, a black woman can just sit there and whoop on a black man. That's cool, you know. But if a black man raises his hand back one time, he deserves to be taken out behind a shed and beat with him his life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And it's so crazy about Tyler Perry movie. She could do that and still be a victim.
yeah, that's how it goes. That's how that goes. I mean, I remember a T.D. Jakes movie, the Mr. Flying Ass Pastor movie. T.D. Jakes, who's a homosexual con artist,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't even believe it. I'm not even a Christian, so I really don't like the dude. So then he made a movie back when I was a kid, and I started like that chick from Set Off was in it, and she goes and unalives a dude for molesting her when she was a kid, and they portrayed her as a bad person for doing that. When I was like, he's a no good PDF file, he deserved it. I'm like
Yeah, he
the
did.
Punisher, dude. Like I think that he deserved it. Like
Oh, he definitely deserved it.
she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it when she was a little girl, but she could grow up and go get a weapon at 18 and do it. Like he deserved it, man. Like I love that scene of the Punisher TV show where it's played with a new Jewish actor. The guy says, "I got a little girl pornography if you want it," and the guy hears about that shit, closes the door, and gets a baseball bat and goes wham. That's what I want to do. Anytime someone says about hurting a kid, man, they just deserve instant. And I can't believe people feel that that's bad. Like people like Bill, like, oh, that's so bad. He just beat up a guy that wants to hurt prepubescent kids. I'm like, yeah, because a prepubescent kid. I'm not talking about the gray area like 15 and 14 and shit. I'm talking about like full on like under 12
Oh
and
yeah,
shit.
I know.
Under there's no gray area. There's no gray area. I'm sorry, it might sound sick, but like with teenagers, I really don't give a shit. But I'm talking about the prepubescent kids, total different thing. That's true like
Oh yeah.
PDF file shit.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
You want to take kids who doesn't even know what SEX should be, and you want to just violate them, man, dude, you're sick. Completely got your wires crossed. And I think it's cultural because we all heard about pederasty in ancient Greece. That this is white culture. I put that in one of those videos on my channel about Irritated Genie made a video 10 years ago where he just took a clip from History Channel and showed the ancient Greece, according to this History Channel clip, ancient Greece would capture little boys and they just ravage them for a whole weekend. And this was what the culture was. It's literally their culture. They literally thought if you didn't do that, there's something wrong with you. It's like a guy talking to a girl in our culture. It's like, and being back in the 90s, now it's supposed to be male and female is the top thing, right? But back in the 90s, it was like underground. It was like supposed to be man and woman, right?
Uh-huh.
Until recently, it's supposed to be man and woman, but now it's completely opposite. Now, now the military will not. If you want to, in the military veterans, if we want to add our parent as a dependent, it takes an act of Congress to get that done. Now, if I want to marry another male, I can add them as a dependent overnight. Boom, he's added. Don't have to be related to this guy. Just add him. And what's up with African dudes? I had an African dude in my unit. Africans are so weird. I don't want to even. Most of them I do not like because they're basically Uncle Toms, except they're not even our. They're basically like, if they're even related to us, they're like distant relatives, if anything. But anyway, so I knew an African guy from East Africa who was messing with Mexican transgenders off post, and I'm like, why do Africans come over to America and start immediately doing weird homosexuality? I'm like, what's wrong with you dudes? Yeah. I'm like, what is wrong with them, man? And he would be like, yeah, well, I'm not, even though I mess with a transgender, I'm not gay. I'm like, that's definition of gay, dude.
I hate when they say that. I hate when that irritates the hell out of me.
I had to live with that for a year straight of this roommate of when I was in the military, like saying this stupid shit. I'm like, dude, he was born with a penis, and you clearly knew it. So I didn't know it was a guy, though. He's like, dude, the guy looked like a young George Lopez in drag. Did you not know who he was? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude was at the very best. He looked like a Ricky Iglesias, except not as fat. I mean, not Ricky. Who's the guy? Is it that might be the singer's name? Who's the guy? Fluffy Iglesias, the fat Mexican comedian, except not quite as fat. That's what his transvestite looked like, man. It was blatantly a man, beer belly and drag, and a mini skirt with a mustache. His name was probably Jaime.
Oh.
So it's like he's clearly a man. You know how in Spanish they pronounce their names. You know, if their name is Jaime, is Jamie in Spanish is Jaime, and George in Spanish is Jorge. You know, it's like so he was Jorge or Jaime. You know, he was not born. His name was not Maria. Okay, born Maria. I mean, born out of his mother named Maria. No. So yeah, they clearly do it, man. They're like, oh, they're happy to do it. But yeah, man, I don't get it. But I'm gonna wrap this up soon. But yeah, man, but Bill, he believes that you're born a homosexual. I like, dude, where are you even getting this from, dude?
When he made videos like that, I'm like, where are you getting this from? Now, if he would have said something about the poisons of the food and atmosphere, okay, I would probably give him the benefit of that. But when he just outright said that, oh, you're just born like that, huh?
He would rant about this, man. I'd be like, dude, Bill, where are you getting this from? Because he doesn't even know like Alex Jones. I had the gay frog video, but it made sense though. He actually listed the chemical that's making frogs mating with the same sex, right? He actually listed the chemical. I forget the name of the chemical, but he actually gave the chemical name, and then a black YouTuber actually went and did more research on it and got a black scientist to confirm what Alex Jones was talking about. Like, Alex Jones sometimes will tell the truth, even though he's a shill. He will sometimes tell the truth, but Bill will just say people are born gay. Bill's mean like people are born gay since time immemorial, since the beginning of time. People just come out their mother and they just want to do homosexuality out the blue. And I'm like, yeah, Bill, you're just a closet homosexual to even say that shit, in my opinion. A closet homosexual pedophile to say that. Because it's like, you're basing that on you're not basing that, you're just defending your way of view. Because you have those desires. You're just like, well, it just came from my nature. No, it didn't come from your nature, dude. It's like saying I was born speaking English or French or Spanish. No, you were not born speaking that shit. You picked it up from your environment. To even get that idea. It nice to have that idea. Yeah, you see a kid, little boy, you're like, you even think of that shit. Yeah, man, that's what Bill is. And the Bill can go on, and now Bill and Stockton Steve right now is like, oh yeah, Charlie Kirk is still alive. Whether he's still alive or not, at the end of the day, the guy was a clown. And it doesn't, you know what I'm saying? Like, the guy was not for anyone He was not for any of us, especially a black person.
Yeah,
He might have been sleeping with whether he was sleeping with the Candace Owens or not. I mean, people say that rumor all the time. He was sleeping. She's a
what?
Bedouin,
I
man.
responded when I responded to okay, here we go. With that I have a black friend. When you anytime a Caucasian person has ever stated that, I already know you're racist. I just say, oh, okay, you're racist. Thank you for telling me that. Oh,
That's what George Carlin always made the fun of.
especially now. Here's the thing. This is my favorite one. Oh, I date black girls. I have a black girlfriend. Get the fuck out of here. And then in the old plantation, you used to sleep with the black female slaves. Well, more so, grape them. But okay, we get it. You're still a racist. Next.
Exactly, man. And like even during slavery, when it was the black female thought was consensual, it was a form of violation because he's in the power position. Just like just saying that when prison guards sleep with female inmates, it's sick. They're in a
Yes,
power position. There was a
who's that?
redneck near my house. My mom was getting annoyed. I don't talk to the fool because I might do something I might regret on his ass. But occasionally, they stopped doing it as much. But occasionally, a redneck on a quad bike was on a dirt road near my house, which is my house is on an acre, but it's right near a dirt road where they do quad bike. My mom was filming them doing it, and he's like, "Are you filming me?" And my mom started cussing. My mom likes females love to argue. That is true. Okay. Oh, all right, man, we don't argue because in Florida we don't argue. What does the argument lead? Like Mr. Floyd said, where argument lead? To violence and someone being in the dirt 6 feet under. That's when it leads when men argue. So I don't even argue unless it has to go to that. So then he started arguing, and I said, "Man, leave me alone. We don't have to answer your questions." And I went inside. He got scared I was going to get a weapon. I already had a weapon on me, and he got scared and went off. But he said to my mom, "I'm not racist though. I date black girls and stuff." I'm like, dude, who gives a shit who you stick your pee in, dude? Who gives a shit? That don't mean anything. You're enjoying sexual pleasure with the victim that you're victimizing, and you think that's supposed to mean anything to me? Some dumb female, whether she's from Haiti, Jamaica, Africa, or Negro, where you're taking advantage of her female orifice to give you pleasure. So you're taking whether she's getting pleasure from or not, you're taking advantage of her to get pleasure, and she's thinking she's getting white clout, which she's not. Even if she has your baby, she's not gonna. It's like Rosewood showed you. She thought she was gonna get somewhere being with the white man. She did not get nowhere. She got abandoned. He was using her every night.
See, I try to. I even try to tell people. I mean, the Negroes about that. Well, I said, especially when it's a white man. I mean, even if I were to flip it, it's not much of a difference if a black man gets with a white one. Oh, he's just trying to elevate. How he's going to elevate? But let me stick on that. When I see these white males talking about, well, I have a black girlfriend. I date my ex girlfriends. My black girl. My ex girlfriends were black. You already just told me who the hell you are. Real. You really told me who the hell you really are.
You told me, yeah. You basically told me who you are, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing about Charlie Kirk, I mean, to me, giving his solution, I was like, man, I'm like, Charlie Kirk, I know Charlie Kirk, because he wouldn't, he always asks college kids this. He would never step up to you or me.
No, because he knows that he can you're dealing with a kid who can afford, you're dealing with a broke, I mean, not broke, but you're dealing with a kid who can, his parents are paying for, his or her parents are paying for school, and he don't know nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was 18, I was nowhere near my level of my thinking now. That's why I wait. Like I was thinking about going to the military at 18, but I wouldn't have taken it seriously. I would have gotten more trouble because I wouldn't take it seriously. But yeah, I mean, hey, what's up, man? But anyway, I wouldn't have taken it seriously, man. But I joined in my mid 20s, I took it more seriously. But it was like, man, a college kid. I was talking to my mom. It's like you see these Asian from pocket tours go to college campuses. They're just gonna always gonna go to. They're not gonna go to a graduate level campus or adult education, continuing education for adults and shit, where you have people in their 20s and 30s. You're always gonna go to a actual, truly like. Kids are just first time away from home 2018 and they're dumb, young, dumb, and full of cum kids. They're going to talk to them because they can out circles around. He's 30 years old And remember, one guy posted on his channel. Charlie Kirk is an agent because he came out of nowhere and got big funding out of nowhere. Who can get big funding out of nowhere with no credentials?
Exactly, and Charlie Kirk is he's telling black people, and I'm like, here we go with that respectability politics, and I would just said, okay, black people hung from trees for doing that. Black people have their own towns. If you want black people to be well behaved, then give us our 40 acres of a mule, and you use your white privilege, and then and stop and get rid of these laws where the black man gets kicked out of the home. Get rid of this no fault divorce bullshit, and you don't have to worry about us. And you can see that sounds too much like right.
Yeah, that 40 acres a mule was it was a lie from Jump Street, man. They were never gonna do it. It was a lie from Lincoln. They were never gonna do it in the first place. It was just let those pacify those Negroes, let them think we're gonna give them something. They barely give the so-called natives, who are basically just Mexicans. They barely have given them. No, recently Trump has given. He went to a native guy, gave him a medal, and said, "You're such great people. You're such great people, and we deserve to give you more than we've given you. But yeah, here's a medal and such as, and here's a medal, and you're great people. And don't listen to people like Elizabeth Warren who have blue eyes and shit and don't even look like you and stuff like that." This is a real. He actually did this recently. I don't know when that was taken. That might be old, but Donald Trump recently gave. I think it was this presidency, this term. He actually gave a native a medal. Yeah, they give them. They give them a Oh no, they give them a casino and they beat their wives and shit on the. I mean, remember they carved up the worst land and give it to them. I mean, and that's the whole thing about George Carlin always said. They say happen to be black. My friend happens to be black, and George Carlin always said like, so his dad was black. So yeah, his mom was black. Yeah, and they fucked. He's like, yeah. So how is it happenstance? And they say he's openly gay, and he's like, well, they never use that with black, do they? Except for I know that James Brown is openly black. And Clarence Thomas and Colin Powell are not openly black. They're openly white. They just happen to be black.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, man. But hey, man, I'm about to hit the track.
Yeah,
I gotta
get good talking to you, man. Yeah, good talking to you, man.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch the other content you got.
Oh yeah, definitely check it out. It's lately, probably should go lately. It's been mainly ranting on Bill, but back in the days, it was just typical shit of like fighting white supremacy, fighting this and that, or going over what my opinions of current events are. But yeah, is this going to all be that, man? Because that's all it is, man. But hey, man, it was good talking to you, man. So have a good night, man.
Take care.
Peace.